Yo, top of the morning, and it is a good morning. Gotta give my praise to God Almighty, cause this morning, and try to smoke with me. Yo, I just want to say that if this type of stuff offends you, this ain't the channel for you. If you're looking for a gimmick, this ain't the channel for you. If you want some negativity, some drama, well, I won't say drama because it's drama in all kinds of forms. Drama comes in all kind of ways. But we ain't down with the negativity. So if you down with the negativity, you know what I'm saying? This ain't the channel for you. Feel me? We on some things, man, right now where I'm just trying to like rectify the meaning of the day, the time, and the mind frame that we living in. It's crazy. Because it's like like what I just said a few minutes ago about the morning. Like the mornings, it's like the most intimate time of the day. A lot of people don't live to see the morning. So it's a beautiful, it's good, it's magnificent damn near because every day that you have is another day of opportunity and purpose. You feel me? So maybe in my next segment, I'm gonna talk about opportunity and purpose. But right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get y'all on some real, some real mental, stimulate your mind type you know. Um, this ain't for the politically correct, but in retrospect, it is for those who want to, elevate and have a social consciousness, awareness, and a true understanding of, the heart of man. Because everything I do from my heart. I speak from my heart. Everybody know that. Ain't nothing fake about me. Ain't nothing fake about anything you see on this channel. It's all real. But we definitely going from rags to riches. We definitely going from rags to riches. We're going way up with it. All the way up with it. So as much pain as we go through, as much sorrow as we experience, tragedy that we see or experience, we still got to keep our faith, keep our smile, keep your sense of pride, your sense of dignity, and most of all, keep yourself. And I pray that God keep you as well, because we in a spiritual war every day. It's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual battle that we facing. Not so much physical, very much so spiritual. And me personally, I'm just, I'm trying to get myself to a point to where, I'm just trying to unlock those keys. You know. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I just know that when the mornings come, it's essential that you give praise be to Allah, to God, to Christ, Buddha. Um, we want to give Yahshua the praise all the time. And the reason why I mention so many names is because we have so many people in this world that follow different ideologies of what God is. But there's only one God. Understand the concept of monotheism. The concept of monotheism is the concept of one God, right? That created us all and created all the different cultures. You know what I mean? So the more we get down to understanding that, the better we are as a people, as a human race of people. We can get along better, right? But anyway, like I was saying, the mornings are like, oh man, it's when I wake up in the morning, I might have had a bad night before. Sometimes we have bad nights. Sometimes we can't sleep at night. But when that sun come up, it almost kind of gives you a feeling of purpose. You know, the sun is up. It's doing its job. It's doing its job because it never stopped working. It's always doing its purpose. So for the moment, I just want to give praise to Atom, Atoom, the sun. Just want to give praise to God for giving us the sun because the sun is a reflection of God. Please believe that. So when I was a kid, I used to stare at the sun all the time. People used to say, "Don't stare at the sun; it's gonna mess your eyes up." I was born with messed up eyes. You know what I'm saying? I was wearing glasses before I could read. So I don't worry about all that. What people say. Sometimes you just gotta follow your instincts. Excuse me. But I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, that's viewing. I appreciate the likes. God bless you if you subscribe. God bless you if you don't. This channel is on a mission to show you truly how God can touch you and take you from one stage to the next, from one level to another, until you reach perfection. But you got to go stage after stage after stage. You feel me? To the king is crowned king. Feel me? But we all must not be mistaken. Um, it's only one king. Right? It's only one king. And he died for us, laid his life for the preservation of mankind. Right? Um, we are representations of that king. You know what I mean? It's like we have Martin Luther King. We got a brother that raised his kids up from Compton, and you know what I'm saying? King Arthur, right? And they call me King Callie. So we are just representations of the real king, the true God. That's the king. Um, so it's important that we represent that in the best light that we can throughout the circumstances that we face. Um, I'm an all natural person, so I smoke natural marijuana. I drink champagne, wine, natural, no hard liquor. We're just trying to keep it natural, you know. Um, right now, like I said, though, you know, we're in a spiritual war, and whenever you're faced with a war, you have to arm yourself. You have to arm yourself whenever you're faced with war. So if you're not arming yourself with the spirit of God, that means staying prayed up all the time. That means making sacrifices for the for the betterment of whatever situation you're in. No matter what situation you're faced with in life, you have to make sacrifices in order to get to where you're trying to get to. Um, I heard somebody ask a question not too long ago. One of my little mans was asking like, "What is love?" He wanted to know what love was. What is love? Love is many things, but ultimately, love is sacrifice because you sacrifice for the people you love. You sacrifice money out your pocket, you know, you sacrifice your time, you sacrifice things that plans that you may have made, and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna excavate those plans and do something different, really, because I'm making a sacrifice for someone else. I can go do that another time, right? Love is sacrifice. You know how I know love is sacrifice? Because God sacrificed his son, our brother, Lord and Savior, Christ. He sacrificed his son for us. That's how much he loved us. That's how I know that love is sacrifice. I know for a fact. Nobody can tell me nothing different. So I go out throughout life sacrificing a lot for the things and the people I love and care for. Because the only way I can show them that I love them is to make sacrifices in my life. Sometimes they're good, sometimes not so good. Sometimes you can make sacrifices and feel like, dang, why I do that, man? Now it seemed like I lost out on something. Like I keep losing, you know, dealing with this person, you know, family, friend, spouse, whoever. I seem like I just keep losing. And I'm the only one making real sacrifices, you know? So just know that your sacrifices are always going to be rewarded, no matter what. God sees all. So even if you may do something for someone or sacrifice something for the greater good, you may not necessarily be appreciated or even acknowledged at that particular point in time. But God sees everything. So God sees everything. So at the end of the day, your blessings will come because they're already here. You just gotta reach up and grab them. You know what I'm saying? It's like ribbon in the sky. Like Stevie Wonder said, ribbon in the sky. You gotta reach up and grab the ribbon because it's already there. You just got to have faith that you can touch it, that you can grab it, that you can get it, that it's yours, that it's already yours. You know, that's where real faith comes in. That's when real faith kicks in, not just when things is going good, but through adversity. When you're trying so hard to reach the top and you feel like the closer you get to the top, the further you are from it. That's when your faith had to kick in. So, yeah, I had to have a lot of faith throughout my whole walk through life, period. You know, from the time my father passed away when I was 8 years old, he told me he had to go. You know, told me he had to go, and you know, that was a real big deal. So I had to have faith. From that moment on, I had to have faith. I had to have faith that God was watching over me because I ain't have no father to watch over me no more. So I got real close to God at 8, 9 years old, real close. I had my battles with the Lord. Don't get me wrong. There was times when I feel like I may have not wanted to hear what he was trying to tell me. I wouldn't say give him the deaf ear. I know for a fact there's times when he's giving me the deaf ear, but I've had my battles with God as a young age child. Before I was even a teenager, I was mad at God because I felt like, God took my daddy away. Um, as a kid, you don't understand a lot. But leukemia, diseases, things like that, it's almost like dying from natural causes. So I knew that no man killed my father. The Lord took my father away. So I was kind of bitter. It's like, why you had to take my dad? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, all my cousins got their daddies. My sisters and brothers got their daddies. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, why you have to take mine? But God said that he chose you to be the strongest. So I had to learn that I had a calling that was bigger than just going through life having a father. It was bigger than that, because my father's my guardian angel. And he was appointed my guardian angel for a purpose. It was more purposeful in God's eyes, I feel, to see fit that my father walked with me throughout my life from the spiritual aspect than in the physical. Because he's done more for me in the spiritual than I think he could ever do for me in the physical. Because in the physical, he's just man. He can only do so much, you know. Um, but in the spiritual, there's been times where he's intervened in situations, um, things that I can't explain. Certain things that he showed me is crucial, you know. Um, for instance, if you ever been to a funeral and you go, not even the funeral, not even the funeral. Let's go before the funeral. Let's go to when you go into just view the person's body, right? You go into the viewing. You walk in that room. It's a distinctive odor. It's a certain smell that you know you get from those flowers and the scent of the person in the casket, and it's all one scent comes together in one big odor. And the odor can be different odors for different rooms, for different, of course, because different chemistries, that mix in the air, and you know but I will never forget the smell. I'll never forget the smell of like roses, but different type of rose, like different type of smell. Like I can't walk down the street or go anywhere and find a rose and put my nose up to it and get that smell, because it's like a collage of different, smells and odors. So it's very distinctive. But every now and then, I'll smell those roses. And I mean, like, I know it's my father because the moment I smell it, it takes me right back to that moment when I was 8 years old. It takes me right back to that moment when I was in that room. And the smell is so loud, it's almost as if if he took a big handful of roses and just put it right here in my face, to where it's like I can't help but to smell it no matter where I turn them out, where I look, I can't shake the smell. That's when you know your guardian angel is watching over you. That's just his way of letting him know that he's right there. So every now and then, I guess, when I'm weary, because we all get weary, we all get a little weak in our struggle with having faith, because faith is a struggle within itself. Nobody just has faith, you know. You have to truly, truly, truly work at it like a muscle, like working out. Your faith will be tested throughout life. You will go through situations where it's like all my faith just went out the window. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it's important that we use the tools that God give us, which is our mind, the concept of understanding how to use our mind to open up our mind even more, our third eye, knowing how to use it properly, giving you a insight on things to come, giving you a foresight on things that are to be that we can't change. A lot of people dream and see things before they happen. And, those are called premonitions. So we have to kind of like, if we could force ourselves to have premonitions every day, man, the world would be crazy because we would be able to maneuver. We would be able to take ourselves from one level to the next without even having a thought, because it's like, okay, we see what's going to happen. All right, bam, it's time for us to prepare for that, right? Luck favors the prepared. So yeah, if we could force ourselves to have premonitions every day, man, the world would be a whole lot better. um but instead of us being able to use our mind to be able to see into the future, we're so dumbed down in our intellect, in our mental. We don't focus on the future too much. We focus more on the past. We focus more on the now, right? For instance, we focus more on our problems instead of focusing on solutions to those problems, because problems are always going to come. What is the solution? Because there's a solution to everything, right? There's an answer to every question. Um, and hopefully there's a question to every answer, because even when you get an answer, there should be a question, right? Until you get to the concrete fact of it all, and until you get to the point to the you reach the soil and the fabric of what you're trying to what you're trying to understand at that particular time. um then it's fact, and nobody can change it. Nobody can change fact, right? um it's a fact that the sun is up, it's going to go down, it's going to go light up the other side of the world, where the people in the dark right now, they have a nighttime. That's a fact, right? So I like to stick to facts, the facts of life. So we're gonna let the facts of life take you to, we're gonna let the facts of life take y'all to a whole nother concept of understanding how to view things from a supernatural aspect. um but yeah, it's crazy, because what I see, from what I see, and the perspective of what I see, and the people, and the cultures of people, the government of the people, and I see things moving in a way where it's like every winter gets colder. It feels like every summer gets hotter. We headed to a point. There's a point to it all. There's a point to life. When Yahshua died on the cross, who we know as Jesus, died on the cross for us, there was a point to that. There was a beginning and then an end. There's an end to everything. There's an end game coming. And I feel like we need to be more prepared for it. The end game. We can go out and make money. We can go out and explore the world. Those are called experiences. And hopefully we all have a lot of great and good experiences. I pray that you all who are watching me right now, I pray that you all have more good experiences in life than bad. All praise to Allah. Because the experiences that we have is what carry us, is what make us, is what shape us into our reality. How we deal with adversity. You know, I always say God because God is the source of everything. He put us here to go through adversity. You understand? Those who are able to handle it the way they're supposed to, I believe those are the chosen ones. The ones that can handle adversity because they can show other people how to handle adversity. You know, so at the end of the day, how we look at ourselves and how we look at life, how we try to expand our mental capacity by reading books, watching movies, and, we stay glued to the internet. Knowledge of self is the most important knowledge you can get. It's the most important knowledge that you can obtain. And you can't find it in no university. So it's important to know thyself. It's important to know you, your strengths, your weaknesses. It's important to know you because the worst thing you can do is have somebody come up to you and tell you something about you that you don't already know about yourself. Because you become like a mystery to yourself in a sense. Like, damn, they know this about me. Like, I didn't even know that about me, right? And sometimes that can be a good thing. Just call self-awareness. Sometimes people can make you aware of things that you may not be aware of. um, so it's important that we we learn by all means. If read a book, have good conversations with people, because sharing dialogue with people can help you understand how you think and why you think the way you think. Sometimes talking to someone can take you from feeling like you going crazy to feeling like you're on cloud nine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one minute you just doubting yourself and you emotional and you're trying to attach your thoughts and your mind to your heart and what you feel in your heart. And you're trying to understand, why is my mind like this and why is my heart like this? As soon as we can match what's in here to what's up here, then that's when you really, 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 really start walking in truth. That's when you really start walking in truth. Because truth is knowledge of self. Long as you know you, there's nobody can tell you nothing about you that you don't know. But you gotta study self, you know? You gotta study self, inside and out. You know what I mean? When I played ball when I was younger, I used to twist my ankle so much and I wind up breaking my ankle. And when I went to the doctor, they did the x-ray and the doctor was like, man, you broke your ankle like 4 times already. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, you got like 4 fractures, old fractures. I was like, damn. Okay, so I knew then that I had a high threshold for pain. I knew then that I could take a lot of pain because I played football on a broken ankle. But the fact of it was not just so much that the ankle, I was able to play through the pain. It was what gave me the strength to be able to numb the pain to where I couldn't feel it in my mind. Even though It hurt so bad I could barely, walk a little. How was I able to run back a kick return? Seriously. How was I able to run back a kick return on a broke ankle? That was amazing. After I did that kick return, there was a lot of cats that was like, man, that nigga ankle ain't broke. It was like, that nigga ankle is not broke. That nigga was playing possum, man. It's like, shit, you better go ask my doctor. I went in the kitchen and got a knife and cut my cast off my leg. I had no guidance. I won't say no guidance. I had a little guidance, but I needed more because my grandmother tried to tell me, like, don't do that. Don't do that. And I was like, Grandma, I want to play football and this cast is getting in my way. She was like, that cast is on your foot for a reason to make your foot heal. But the cast had been on my foot for like, man, maybe about 3 weeks now. And it was like, I was tired of it. So I got a knife and I cut the cast off my foot and went outside and started playing football with my friends. And shit, just so happened somebody kicked the ball and it went deep. I grabbed it and broke it all the way back, and everybody was looking at me crazy as a mug because it was like just a few minutes ago you had a cast on your foot and you just broke down a kick return. You know what I'm saying? It's like 7, 8 of us out there playing 4-on-4, 5-on-5, one of them, and nobody could get to me. You know, nobody could get to me. They said, "Damn, man, he must be faking." I walked around with a permanent limp after that. Literally, I walked around with a permanent limp for about 4 months until my bone healed incorrectly. And the doctors was like, well, your bone didn't heal right. And, you was kind of foolish for taking the cast off early and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And it came down to it, we got to re-break your ankle and get it right if you want to play ball. And that was the first real crossroad I was at. Well, really the second. I'll tell you about the first later in another segment, but the second crossroad I was really at in life, and it was, do I get my ankle rebroken so I can ball, or do I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to do in this world, or do I have a different calling? No, I just know that I didn't want to go through that pain no more, and I don't think my passion for playing basketball was where it used to be. If they had asked me that same question when I was 14, 15, I'd have been like, yeah, go ahead and break it. But at 19, 20, I was more like, man, I'm cool, man. I'm straight. I'm like, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right. God got me. And if it's not meant for me to play ball, then guess what? It ain't meant for me to play ball. But like I said, sometimes we don't have the proper guidance all the time around us to where we do foolish things. And I actually broke my ankle, not even playing ball. I actually broke my ankle jumping off a one-story building. And I guess my ankle was so weak that when I landed on my feet, it just gave in. The other one was my other ankle, my other leg, everything was straight, but this one just gave in. And that's when the doctor, did the X-rays and they found that I had 4 old fractures. So I had 4 little cracks in my ankle already. So when I hit the ground, bam, it just, you know, gave in. But I learned a lesson. Don't be jumping off 1, 2-story buildings. Don't do that. I learned the lesson. Um, the hard way. My mom always said was gonna learn everything the hard way. So I don't know, man. It's just like I said, having faith in what you can do and your abilities can take you a long way. Because even though, yeah, I didn't make it in sports, I kind of gave up on my childhood dream um, God had a different calling for me, and I felt it so much to the degree that I was almost ready to just at that moment, like ready to just follow something different. Just I need something different to follow. You know, that was a childhood dream. I need an adult manhood dream now. What I want to do in this reality that I'm living in as a young man. And a lot of brothers have to go through that when they raised without fathers. Um, you have to find your way quick. When I went to jail, Twin Towers, um, I felt like that was just part of my manhood too. It's just because my dad had been to jail a lot, and my uncles, and like I don't think nobody in my family, I don't think I've had aunties and like women in my family go to jail, like you know what I'm saying. So everybody experienced jail. So when it was time for me to experience jail, I felt like it was just my time to experience what everybody else experienced. So I went in there kind of like, you know, I won't say I was happy, but I was excited. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like, all right, now I'm up in this mug and I get to experience what everybody was talking about. And the first nigga that run up on me, I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm a whoopty woo wop, and I ain't finna get along with none of these guards up in here, and you know, because I heard, you know, I hear all the stories about how the guards is and how niggas is, and you know, so when I was in jail, you know, I kind of stuck to myself in the Twin Towers, and it was ironic because the jail was so full that they had to stick like 300 of us in the chapel. So it was like maybe between 200 and 300 brothers in the chapel with white sheets. So I felt like I was in Mecca. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I was in Africa. I felt like I was in Mecca. I'm in the church. I'm in jail, but I'm in the church. And this is where I'm sleeping. So yeah, I had my moments where I just knew in my heart that God is watching over my life for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely need to dedicate my life to the creator and all that he's given me. Um, Sometimes God can allow things to be taken from you to show you and teach you a lesson. We all have to learn. I've lost a lot. I've gained a lot. I've lost a lot. A lot of good people may have been taken out of my life from odd situations. Um, some some will re-enter in different times, and some won't. Some were just there to show me something, you know, um, taught lessons. So we we definitely as a human race and as a people, we need to really understand that God has a plan for all of us. Even if that plan is just to be here to feel the access of life, you still have a purpose. So this is crazy. It's crazy that I'm even on this, man, because a lot of people told me I should have did my social media page years ago. And some people, you know, they surprised to even see me doing it. But there's a lot of sides to an individual. None of us perfect. None of us perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. All right. Um, but I believe that we can find a little bit of perfection in this world through the love of God and obtaining the knowledge of self, because that's part of God's will. You know, it's learning thyself. So yeah, when it all boils down to, is staying prayed up, watching over your family, staying in contact with your family. Believing that every day you wake up is another day that brings you closer to your destiny. Every day you wake up is another day that brings you closer to your destiny. Now, what your destiny is up to you, right? It's not up to God. It's up to you because God gave us a plan. It's up to us to follow that plan. And then throughout that, you create your own legacy, right? So, anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, taking time out your day, your morning, or your night, whenever you decide to check out the segment. I appreciate you for taking time out to listen and hear what a young brother from the projects, Watts, California. I appreciate listening to what I have to say because it's all real. All I can be is real. I can't be nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Um, because life is real, and if you want to grab life by the horns, and you really just want to like just grab life by the chokehold, um, yeah, you gotta stay true to you. You gotta stay true to yourself. And I know I'm true to myself. Every day I'll be like, I pray to God. I thank God that I didn't kill nobody. It's a lot of brothers that's walking the earth right now because I have righteousness in my heart and forgiveness in my heart. And I figured, it's probably something bigger that can come up out of this situation than the confrontation. Sometimes confrontations can bring you closer to people. Um, it's hard when you got to bite the bullet. It really is, because it's like, damn, like, but it's like God chose you. God chose you. You wasn't no victim of nobody. God chose you. So don't ever have a victimized mentality. Don't ever feel like you somebody's victim, because God chose you. Whatever situation you was in it for a purpose. You was in it for a reason. Nothing happens by chance. There's no such thing as coincidences. Everything happened for a reason. Um, it could be to bring you closer to someone. It could be to show you to stay away from someone. It could, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. You have to walk the walk to find out. You have to live through it to find out. You have to get to the other side to find out the true reason. Just remember though, God be with you, all of y'all. And there's a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow. So please believe that you will receive your blessings as long as you keep pushing, as long as you keep pushing forward and staying positive and learning knowledge of self, understanding. Because to know you is to know God and what God requires of you. Feel me? Love y'all. One love. Casting out. You know what I always say. God bless. No stress. One.